I've been waiting for you. Are you sure? I'm sure. For me, I know I'm ready to make you happy.
My name is Dr. Sangeeta Mahajan, and I'm a consultant anaesthetist at Guy's and St. Thomas's Hospital, London. In October 2010, I attended a charity dinner hosted by the Ganda Foundation. I was deeply touched by the videos that were shown that evening. They inspired me to get involved with the work that this foundation was doing, and this inspiration took me to Uganda. As part of the Ganda Foundation, we focused our attention on Kavolo Hospital in Lugazi and a primary school as well. On the 17th of February 2011, I held a training seminar at Kavolo Hospital, which was very well attended. Pharyngeal airway, I'm sure you've seen one. It's also called Giddell's airway. Yeah? And you size it for the patient and then put it in their mouth. That helps to keep the airway open. This is how you put it in their mouth. Yeah? Followed by a fun-filled visit to a primary school in Lugazi. All you children are absolutely beautiful. All of you. You're so beautiful. You know that? Do you know you're beautiful? Yes? I can tell you are, because I can see your little faces, and I can see that behind those faces in your heart, you are even more beautiful. I got lots of books as well, just for the children. Thereafter, we headed off to Mulago Hospital in Kampala. The traffic was near impossible due to the activities associated with the upcoming elections. But Andrew's patience and expertise got us through it quite smoothly. However, nothing could have prepared us for what we were to witness there. We were met by a very well-spoken and motivated young man called Ben Ikara, who works for the Ugandan Children's Cancer Foundation. He gave us a brief introduction to the work of the organization, which was very impressive.
Cancer Institute, that you have is a government institution, which directly operates under the government umbrella, and all its guidelines and all other things are directly working as a government institution.
From his description, it was easy to see the huge challenges faced by the people on a daily basis. What may seem to us as simple things, such as transport, a shelter for the night, or 2 decent meals in a day, were unachievable by most parents, for themselves and their children. On top of that, although the hospital is a government hospital, most drugs and treatments are to be paid for, as there is a huge limitation within the system. He then took us to the children's cancer ward to meet some of the patients and their parents. The ward was packed with cots, with hardly any spaces between them. There was no privacy afforded to anyone. Most children had very obvious tumors, lots of them on the face, affecting their feeding and vision. One child in particular had a huge growth on one side of his face, which I was told was Burkitt's lymphoma. This child had undergone the first round of chemotherapy without much response and was ready for the next cycle, but his father couldn't really afford it. So how much is he able to eat? Does he eat 2-3 times in a day, or does he?
But the problem is, he doesn't even have enough money to keep feeding him all the time. So if he had more money, he would be able to keep providing him whatever to eat.
In the meantime, the child was unable to swallow more than a bit of fluid at a time. His dentition was also majorly distorted by this growth. His father was a single parent and could barely afford anything for this child.
As a criteria, we just come here and tell them, please register with us. Then when they need that medicine and it's not there, they come and they are given through our channel. But now, if the medicine is not there and they don't have a supporter, then there's nothing we can do because we don't have at that time.
That seemed to be a common theme in the many stories we heard. In fact, Ben told us of a harrowing story of a mother taking the dead body of her child back to her village in a suitcase, as she could not bear the expense of transporting it as such. While we were meeting with some of the patients and doctors, there was an extremely emaciated child on an intravenous drip and oxygen, breathing his last, in full view of the entire ward. I cannot imagine the impact that would have had on the other children in the ward. I felt quite helpless in the face of such harsh realities, but at the same time, I felt inspired by the strength of all these people around me, dealing with their situation with such dignity.
We also need to come up with a budget on feeding, and this kind of feeding, they also advise in terms of food and kind of stuff. Yeah.
His breathing is quite hard.
The only thing that we can provide sometimes immediately is just to share with them, counseling them, trying to keep them to have hope. But the biggest gap we have is actually providing them with medicine.
I was humbled by their exceptionally high level of patience and acceptance. This afternoon, my faith in the strength of the human spirit was strongly reaffirmed.
Tubadde tujjanjaba tufuna ku ddagala bwe tutyo naye bayinza okuba nga eddala teriiyo kale ate erigulibwa obugulibwa nga lya ssente ki nnyingi naye nga siina we nzijja kali kwe kusaba bannange bwaba wannyamba annyambe.